This is A Who All Gonna Be Their podcast, a place where you get to be an exclusive member of our very entertaining group chat. What's up?
Hey y'all!
Feeling
What it
fancy?
is?
I'm
What it
feeling
is?
fancy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You feel fancy?
Hair
Yes.
done, nails done, everything did.
Hey.
I don't
ain't
want to
got
write
none of
to this
that,
song. How y'all doing tonight?
How you doing?
You know?
Oh, what was in your spirit? Hold on. That was
Hold
in your spirit.
on.
Change is coming.
Look, apparently change has come. Hello, y'all.
Look at that. Hi, guys.
I'm on a new platform.
Yeah.
Welcome to this very entertaining group chat where we're here to talk about, this is actually a to-go plate episode, and we're going to talk about Survivor 42. Survivor 42. I was going to say not Survivor 42. Yes, we're talking about Survivor 42. And let me tell you something. I was triggered. And so, but I was triggered at the very end. So we need Eric to get us up to speed because, you know, Eric is our Survivor expert this season.
Come on, Eric.
Listen.
With the notes. Look at them notes. Come on here,
gotta
notes.
pull them up.
Come on, get us together
Come
so
on here,
I can
notes.
I can get this show together, Lord.
As we stated in our last episode, we jumped right into Romeo and Hai getting into it. So they having an argument. Romeo wrote down Hai's name at the last tribal council, and Hai's pissed about it. So Hai's going around like, who voted for me? Did you vote for me? And he was like, it's okay. I know it was Romeo. Romeo, you did it. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's just trying to play. He's like, I voted for Chanel. And then it, goes to his confessional. I did vote for Hai. I wanted to see him squirm, and that's what he's doing. So I did this to show people who he truly is. He basically gave us a Maya Angelou. If someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Not who they are.
You sounded
like the Wakanda.
Yes, you said it. You was straight from Wakanda, child. That is.
I can't give
rest in
Dr.
peace,
Angelou.
Maya.
Yes, but basically he was like, I want y'all to see who this man. I'm pulling the sheep's clothing off this wolf. Is basically what Romeo did, and so that happened. So there was some sparks flying in the first 2-3 minutes. And so we're like, okay, we know who the target is, Romeo, because you're on the bottom. Everybody wants you going next. So it's clear as day who going home, right? But Mr. Rocks, before all that happens, he decides that he wants to form an all men's alliance. And he's like, I think he's talking to Jonathan and Mike first. The people like us are the ones who get voted out. So we need to come together. There's never been a men's alliance. We got the majority of the numbers. And I'm looking like, I thought you watched this game before.
Bruh, the way Rock's social game just don't be socialing. Like, oh my gosh, Rocks, what are you doing?
His social game is like a box of rocks.
There you go. That's it right there. I love you, Rocks, but bruh.
That was a horrible
I had secondhand embarrassment because of this. I was like, oh man, this ain't sticking.
It was sticking nowhere. Okay, I'm gonna give him. Okay, so Mike and Jonathan were down for it, and they should have kept it just between them three. But he tried to go to Omar, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we gotta stick to the all guys." And Omar, he's shady as all get out, but I love it. He like, I'm not about to be working with all them up here. Who they think? What does he think this is? I'm not gonna be stuck with did he call it their misogyny alliance?
The misogynist alliance. I think that's what he called it.
He said something along those lines, and he's like, I'm not doing this. And so yeah, this ain't gonna sit well with me. And then they tried to get Hai on board.
Oh no, he said, I'm sorry, I had to bring it up as notes. He said, I'm not a part of the misogyny club. I'm not trying to be a part of the misogyny club here. That's what it was, a misogyny club.
There we go. And so we knew he wanted no parts of it. And so they go try to, bring Hai into it. And Hai's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go along with y'all. Not like he like, no. Because in Hai said that too, but in Omar's mind, what Omar said was, in what world do I look like going to Final Five with Jonathan, Rocks, and Mike and thinking I'm going to beat them in those challenges? So why would I do that? That makes no sense for me. And I'm like, bingo. So yeah, Rox, I see what you tried to do. We really do. And A for effort, it's something we call read the room. And he
Listen,
just did not do that
didn't.
effectively. Uh, so there was that. And then we get to, immediately to the immunity challenge. And so when the immunity challenge comes on within 6 minutes, we know it's bound to be some mess throughout the rest of the episode.
Listen, it was so funny because me and Treese were watching this episode. We were watching it together, and she was like, "This they going to tribal council mighty quick," and it was going real fast. I'm like, okay, something must be up at the end because it was really quick for them to go through all these segments for this episode.
Exactly. So I was like, all right, we already at the immunity challenge. And it's so funny. I think production, they must be listening to the pod, because I could have sworn we talked about this last pod and the pod before about how they've been doing some of the same challenges as 41, and it's all looking mirror, parallel, like everything looks the same. And come to find out, they did not do the exact same immunity endurance comp this time. Instead of having them hold, they switched it up. They switched it up for us. And so instead of doing the one where they hold their arms up against the, like they nailed to the cross, instead of holding their arms back up like that, instead of doing that comp that's infamous from season 37 that Christian won, they decided to put them in the water, and they had to stand on top of these, like this wooden thing, and hold their feet on these little thin ledges. And
like a little pyramid. Yeah.
It was pyramid-esque, and it's kind of like, kind of like you sit down on a jet ski. Is like that. That's where they all started in a sitting position. But then they have to stand up, and they can't touch the platform where they sit, because if you touch it any way, or your foot come off the thing, you eliminate it.
Oh, let me talk about this comp real quick, Eric. Me and Kiki
ahead.
were talking about this before. Like when it comes to Survivor, because you guys know we cover Big Brother a lot as well. And in Big Brother, they have these comps, and they're more directed towards certain people. Survivor has a way of making everything the same. Now, of course, it's just human nature. There are going to be some comps that are more geared toward other people. But these people were all on the exact same platform, on the same waves, same day, same time. Now, I would imagine looking at this comp at first, I was like, when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, a woman's going to win this because you have small feet and you're able to balance. But as the comp, went along, and Jonathan, I was like, you know what? You got to have a strong core for this. And you would imagine as long as you can keep your balance on that little sliver of wood, if you have that core strength, it's more in your favor. And it just kind of goes to, like, I wish these comps were more leveled out in other games. But I do appreciate Survivor does do things, and it's pretty on an even, playing field. But anyways, I just want to say that.
I agree. Mm-hmm. I 100% agree. And thank you for pointing it out, because Survivor.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great job at that. Because you never know, like going into these comps, like the last 2 weeks, we didn't it could have been anybody's game in these comps. So this challenge, they're all up there, and Jeff tells them not one, but two of y'all are going to win immunity. That's right. We splitting y'all back up in teams, and y'all going to do a tribal council. The losing team, you're going first in tribal. The winning team, whoever wins, whoever hangs on the last, stays up there the longest. Not only will you win food reward, but you'll go to tribal last. So you have the benefit of seeing who is voted out first. And that may shake up some things in how you go into your tribal council. So they split up the teams. On one team, you have all guys. Funny enough, Omar pointed this out. He was like, oh, looks like you got your five guys alliance, Rocksroy, because it was Rocksroy, Omar, Mike, and Romeo on one tribe. And then the other tribe, you had Jonathan, Drea, Marianne, Lindsay, and Tori. And straight away, as soon as the challenge starts, here come the waves, here come the wind, and High is out, Marianne is out, Tori is out. Drea
Look, with out. The quickness, it was like the good Lord said,
he blew that wind.
Quick.
And everybody's out except for, you got Romeo and High fighting for their tribe for immunity. And you got Lindsay and Jonathan fighting it out. I'm like, okay, we got a challenge on our hands. But then eventually Romeo falls, so High secures immunity, but he's still fighting for the reward. Lindsay and Jonathan, they fighting. Lindsay eventually falls backwards. I thought she was gonna bust her head on that platform where she fell back.
Oh yeah. I was
And
nervous.
that-
I was like, oh, she could get injured. Like I was nervous about her getting injured the way she fell.
Exactly. And I'm like, did y'all think, I don't know, Survivor, did y'all think that went through? Because what she could have easily, if she
And
was up a
didn't.
little further on her
Yeah,
thing,
she would have been out of there.
clink, clink, gone.
Mhm.
Bless her heart. But it
Did
didn't
you
happen that
tell
way.
us what did we say what do they win with this darn
Oh, so
Immunity.
besides the immunity, they get the chicken kebabs and all that stuff. That's
Oh,
what
with
they
some
got for the
vegetables,
reward.
beef kebabs or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah, they
Vegetable.
did.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that was the reward. And
Better than
eventually,
Applebee's ain't gonna never sponsor us.
Last week we did say the last episode we was like, y'all went from Applebee's to peanut butter and
Look,
jelly. I mean, how
right,
low
it's
can
upgrade.
you go?
Chicken
So
kebabs is
this
upgrade.
was an upgrade.
I'll have had
it
it.
was.
Yeah.
So Jonathan and High are our immunity winners. And I pointed out on Twitter, I said, you know what? Jonathan ain't missed the meal yet. Okay. He done won this food for his tribe. So they're going to be eating good. He's been eating good. That's why he's able to perform in these challenges, because he's been eating good. And so they give us the tribe that lost first. So the all men's tribe. And so everybody thinks it's easy. Mike is like, oh, dude, I'm just going to sit here and go on to jury because they're going to vote me out. There's nothing I can do. I'm like, what is this woe is me attitude?
Yes.
How do you get to get on this show? Yes.
He was defeated.
He was defeated. And I'm like, you better put some pep in your step. And here comes an angel. Stand up. Stand up, Romeo. Stand up. And so here comes Omar. Because everybody was like, oh, you know the plan. We getting out Romeo. All us guys, we sticking together. And Romeo's like, Omar's like, But let me pull Romeo to the side. He's like, listen, they voted you out. I want you to know that. But I'm not voting you out. And I want you to know, I don't want this little men's club. So he exposes, like, that's what they're trying to do. I don't want to do that. Let's do this together. And High's going to vote with me. He's on the edge. He's going to be the swing vote, but I think we can get him. And here go Romeo. I don't know if I can trust High. High's the one who's gunning for me. He's trying to. I said, if you don't hush and take this saving grace.
Lord, I was like, boy, if you don't sit down and just
take this saving grace and get yourself back in the game. And so they going back and forth about what they want to do. Well, Omar set on what he wants to do. Romeo know he wants to stay now. High is our swing vote. And so they pitched the plan to High. And he's like, I can't blindside Mike because then he's not going to trust me. So he goes to Mike and he's like, Mike, can we just get our Rocksroy? Can we do it? I know we had this alliance, but I don't think Romeo, he's a threat, but we'll worry about him later. And Mike is like, no, we need to get Rox out. We need to get Romeo out, because if we get out Rocksroy, what is it going to tell our allies on the other side? That we can't be trusted. All valid points. But what came to my mind immediately after High was like, yeah, I know Romeo's a threat. I know he's coming for me, but I think we need to get our rocks. My mind immediately went to Danny from BB22 when she had Tyler on the block, knowing he's coming for her. And she did not take the shot to get him out when he was right there prime for the picking. She did not get him out. And what happened not 1 or 2 weeks later, he got her out. And so my mind was like, honestly, High, I know you don't rock with rocks, but if somebody is guaranteed coming for you and you have the opportunity to get them out,
you shoot first. Yep.
You might want to take it. So mark this down, y'all listeners. Mark this down. If High goes next week and Romeo has anything to do with it, or even if he don't, I know he voting him out. This might be a move that cost him the game.
Right, you heard it here first. Come back here, and we'll see if these predictions we've been spot on for a lot of things this season. I think you're right about this one.
It's about his time. His time is almost up.
Yeah. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Go on and punch out for me.
Clock out. I still need to see y'all.
Give me your keys and your shirt and your
And give me the hand that buff in. You don't need that no more.
Him in your buff.
Oh my God, bro.
So that's all the drama on the men's tribe. Then we go to the ladies' tribe plus Jonathan. And I thought this was now this tribe, I thought this was really gonna be a clear cut. Tori, you gone, sis, whatever, boom. But Hercules decides he wants to get big and bad. Well, he already big. He wants to make a good move, a strong move, a bold move. And he's like, let's get out one of these idols. Let's get out Drea. I said, pump your brakes.
Ooh.
I've been a fan of you, but don't say Drea's name. Don't let Drea's name come out your mouth. So I'm like, this man gonna try to get out Drea. And so he's telling Marianne, we're gonna get out somebody with an idol. Let's get out Drea. So we're gonna tell her to write your name down so she thinks you're the target. But we really all gonna get rid of her. So we gotta make this move. And Marianne's like, down, okay, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. I'm here for it. We staying Taku strong, cool, whatever. Let's do this. And can y'all see me? Something happened.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay, you're gonna have to.
Keep
I'm
going.
sorry, Kiki. I don't know because I can't see y'all no more.
Yes,
she edited it like that.
Yes, because Tracy was digging in her eye.
I'm messing with my eye. Yeah, I figured that's why I did it because my eyes was irritated.
Yes, and so I needed to move the camera. No, you're good. Okay. You got the spotlight, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because my eyelash is bothering
me, child.
Cool.
He said, "Oh my God, I can't see y'all."
So Marianne's like, "I'm down. Cool. We're gonna get out Drea." And then Jonathan, thinking he's slick like oil, and he not, goes to Drea's like, we're gonna get out somebody with an idol. Let's get out Marianne, so she ain't gonna know we writing her name down. Drea's like, oh, cool. Yeah, she had whatever. Let's get her out. But she said in her confessional, she said, that's nice, but I also have an idol. So I don't know if I trust this plan or not. She said, because I don't. You ain't
right. If their plan is to flush all idols, that means I'm vulnerable.
You taking away our advantages too.
Look,
exactly. And she clocked the fact that if his plan is let's get rid of somebody with an idol, he could be talking about me because I have one. And so
he's like, but not yours.
Right. And I'm like, come on. I'm glad sis' antennas they working. They stay working. Her mind stay.
You know what though? So at this very point, right? So, the conversation about Drea and her idol, and then Marianne will have to use her idol and all that kind of stuff. At that very point, I'm like, I need them two to team up together because they can be the power couple because they do have those things. And then whoever they put their votes on or whatever it is will be more than likely to go home because they know in advance that they're going to play their idol. I don't know. To the point where it makes me wonder, did they plan this? I just can't wait till next week to see the behind the scenes, if they tell us anything, to see if there was some sort of a conversation prior to going to tribal council, or if everything shifted once they saw what happened at the first tribal council. So I don't know. But I had wrote that down. So I was like, oh, I need to put a pin on that. I need to bring it up so I can see what next week brings.
Right. It puts me in mind because I believe Lindsay, I'm not sure if Dre was a part of that conversation. I think she was when because Lindsay got into it with Jonathan about the plan because he was like, what if Drea does play her? She's like, what if Drea does play her idol? Then Marianne's going to go home because we're voting for her and she plays her idol. And he's like, oh, well,
he didn't care.
Then he didn't. And so she was like, we need to vote for Tori. We need to vote for Tori. He's like, no, we need to just stick to the plan. She's not going to play her idol. Don't underestimate her. See, and now this backstory is starting all this stuff when we get to where we're going to. It's like
adding up.
Okay, so you just know because you told her not to play her nothing. You just think she's gonna just go with you. You just think she's gonna listen to you. You got this control, and then Marianne is expendable to you. You want to keep Taku strong, but you didn't care about her going home in the case that Drea did play hers. Okay, bet you have been noted, Hercules, Thor, Goliath.
This particular episode is where there was a shift, even in the way he was communicating about these players that he's trying to get out.
Yes.
I was like, oh, something in my spirit ain't right.
It rubbed me the wrong way.
I was rubbed What you say?
I said something in my spirit ain't
It was
right.
for
Like
real.
Mary
Tell
Mary.
Shout out to Mary
Tell
Mary.
him. Tell him.
No, like, oh my God. Like they hadn't even made it to tribal council yet, and my blood started
And he
boiling.
was
Right.
like,
Because why are you trying to make this move? Dre is a part of your alliance. So, and then I know Marianne wasn't part of that 8-person alliance, but it's like Tori's been the target. Why aren't we trying to get rid of Tori? And then when you got to the tribal council, and I'm gonna jump right back real quick, you said that you couldn't trust Tori because she lied to you, but you weren't trying to get her out. But we'll get back to that.
And Tori is the one who won the last 2 immunity things. Tori has gotten in the way of you winning whatever it was, and you getting the necklace around you, your neck.
Twice.
Honestly, yeah, she your competition.
So if you want to get up Marianne, who ain't won nothing, Drea ain't won
supposed
nothing.
to be your ally, ain't won nothing. Supposed to be your ally,
right? You can easily beat them from immunity. Like, you trying to get rid of them,
right? It's like, what's going on in your subconscious that you want to get rid of these people? Let's nail this down, please.
It's okay because Drea and Marianne clocked it perfectly. But before
they did.
Before we go there,
a lot.
So going back to the plan, Lindsay, I believe she had this conversation with Marianne and Drea, which made me think, Kiki, maybe they did plan to play their idols together. Maybe it ended up happening the way it did, and it wasn't the way they planned it, but because Lindsay was like, we need to get Tori out. But Jonathan wants, I don't know who she was having this conversation with. I just knew she was like, I think we need to just vote Tori. And so that made me think maybe they did plan it. But moving right along, we go to the first tribal council, which is with the men. Pretty lackluster, pretty boring. Not really much for me. I don't know if y'all caught anything that was of particular interest.
No. I'm just keeping it a stack.
Stop. Only thing I said, I think I tweeted. I know I tweet. I always say I think I tweet, knowing good well I did tweet. I said, here go Jeff talking about Rocksroy. So has anything shifted in this game for you today? And I'm like, yeah, he get ready to get shifted off
messy, bro.
Jeff know he gonna set up somebody.
Why he's so messy?
If I was Rocksroy at that very moment, I would have been like, oh, I'm going home, huh?
Right.
Like, for real. Because that's what
I would have been like,
I'm going home, ain't it? Do y'all follow Indescribable on Instagram? Oh my, she all okay. Instead of saying like, ain't I, like, aren't I? And she's like, you finna fire me, ain't it? That's what I'm supposed to be voted off, ain't it?
Ain't it?
Yep.
Seeing this person on
I'll see y'all would have heard. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think I may have seen it.
So yeah, like you said, Jeff tell him I'm supposed to go home, ain't it? Exactly, because you are. And that's exactly what happened. He was voted off unanimously.
Oh, I was about to say, was it unanimous or no?
Yeah, he voted for Romeo. Everybody else voted him out.
Okay.
So I was surprised that Mike relented, because Mike was strong-armed to vote last week to keep Romeo safe. Not
look,
because
Mike looked like he was about to cry.
He was.
He was
he didn't want to do it. But he did it anyway. So that's showing me that Omar's pulling these strings, man.
Hey, Omar playing, ain't he though?
Playing, and this is another. I'm gonna give him some more props, because when Romeo sat himself beside Chanel, he's like, "This was high in Romeo. I hope they freeze."
Oh, wait a minute! Like freeze? Like it's too cold outside? Freeze?
I hope that's the only freeze I could think of.
I guess they was probably huddling together, and he probably got a lot of body heat. And so he probably like, I hope y'all be popsicles.
Oh my god!
And so
I know it'd be cold out there.
I immediately was like, "Oh, come on, Omar, under the radar, behind the scenes, puppet master, strategic king," because nobody is blaming. That was him. That was all Omar's doing. Once again, Omar showing us that he is here to play, and I'm so for it. So
Omar getting that winners at it, looking like
okay, and I wouldn't be mad at it.
We'll see. If he don't run his mouth too much, I don't know. I don't know if he gonna win. He getting that edit right now, but I feel like his mouth gonna get him caught. So if he gauges that and he don't run his mouth too much, I think he has a big possibility going to the end. But we're gonna see.
I agree. Okay. It's really gonna depend on who goes home and whatnot, but he has pretty much everybody's trust. So he's sitting pretty for at least another 2 to 3.
I give him at least 2 weeks.
He's gonna have to start winning something if you want to stay safe. Which is kind of the case with these next couple of people. Moving right along to the most interesting tribal council that we've had. And I think this tribal council, for me, it wasn't as pretty, wrapped up in a bow, all cuddly, feely, tears of, whatever. Like last season when we had a very pretty much similar conversation.
Mm-hmm. We sure did.
Right around the same time, actually.
OMG.
Right around the same time.
I didn't even put that together, Eric.
Yeah, it wasn't at the double because obviously they were split in two, but it was literally the next episode after that. Season 41 had this exact same conversation. But this conversation that they had this time was more raw. And it was, you could feel the emotions running, both good and bad, because some people showed us who they really are and what they were really thinking. It's like,
and think about it.
Didn't they?
As soon as they walked into tribal council, they walk in, they look over, and it's Chanel and Rocksroy sitting there on the bench.
Energy
it's like
automatically was like
black folks sitting there on the bench, right? And so I can only imagine me as a black woman going into tribal council, and I look over there at the optics of it. Nobody thought about the optics of that. And so, but of course, we're triggered as black people. We are going to be triggered by seeing two of our own people sitting there, even if we were not partnered together in an alliance. We're going to be triggered in some type of way. And I feel like there was a rush of emotion as soon as Drea and Marianne walked in there. I know there was a rush of emotion after they looked over there and saw.
Because here go Jeff once again, and this was probably one of the funny parts that came out of this like incredibly authentic and real conversation. Here he goes, Drea, so what do you think about this? Like, what are you feeling? And one thing about Drea, she gonna say, I don't know.
I don't know. That's exactly. I don't know, Queen. I don't
she
know.
I say nothing about
that. She's like, I don't know, Jeff. I don't know yet. And so he just kept on asking Drea. Like,
he was pressing her.
Leave her alone because he knows.
Yes, and quit playing. This is Jeff. This is an emotional moment. And the thing is, you sat there at tribal council last year, Jeff, when there was a similar conversation as you're saying, Eric, a similar conversation about race and about optics and about how it feels to play the game as a black person and how it mirrors and parallels real life.
Yeah.
And so you already have those conversations. So don't force her. She's already seemingly emotional sitting here after seeing these two Rocksroy and Chanel sitting there on the bench,
right?
And you're digging at her right now. Like, I need you to
trying to get good back. TV.
Yeah,
and so he got it because he was like, after one question, she was like, you know what, Jeff?
Let me go.
It's sad because I'm looking over here and I see Rocksroy voting, and that changes everything for me. She's like, I'm gonna have to play this game differently. I'm gonna play a little bit harder because to see, she was like, I came into this game and I saw 4 other black people in this game, and to see that 2 of them are sitting here back to back like this, she was like, it does something to me, Jeff. And she's like, I don't want people to think this is to turn into a race thing, but you have to understand that we don't get many opportunities in this game, and to see that we're getting voted out back to back. She was like,
right.
She was hurt and deeply hurt, and you can tell the hurt, and I felt it for her. And so she's like, Jeff, she said, matter of fact, she was like, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I'm playing my idol.
Period.
I was like, yes.
Period.
She said, because what I'm not gonna do is allow another one of us to let that happen to another one of us tonight. So I'm playing my idol, and that's the end of story. And she was like, and I'm not saying that it was deliberate, but there's something some subconscious bias going on here that is contributing to that factor.
And that right there triggered the Marianne to say, click, click. Me too, sis.
Listen, in the middle of this conversation, all this going back and forth, we're hearing
what do you say?
What Goliath talking about?
Y'all, y'all want to consider us to be basically we're not racist and da 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 da.
Nobody called you racist
this way, and I'm not racist toward them. Like, there was such coded language
that them, that y'all,
that them, that aggressive.
As our old folks and mamas
that them got me.
Who is them? Them got a name.
Listen,
y'all got a name.
The way my head turned and cocked, and I said, "You don't know their names now." Please, I about lost it. And then when Jonathan said to Dre, "Well, you're being aggressive,"
She was like, I'm not being
Baby, the way I
aggressive.
almost fell out my chair, I said, "Oh no, you didn't." And Dre was looking like, "No, this nigga didn't."
Right.
Like this is what we talking about.
You proving the point.
And
Oh my
so,
goodness.
and I'm gonna give little Miss Lindsay some points. I said never diss because she was like, I hear what y'all saying, and I don't think you're being aggressive. And what you're saying is valid. The way you guys are feeling is incredibly valid.
Lindsay said, "I ain't gonna group me in with them."
I know that's right. Whether she believe it or not, I believe you for this episode. That's all we needed.
Yep. I don't know if she was pandering, but she pandered at the right time.
Yes.
Exactly. And so they were basically just getting it like, this is just a game. And so, and here you go. Well, now I feel better knowing that it's not just a tribe thing, but they're talking about the game as a whole. Use your head, okay?
All right.
Of course, they're not talking about you. And they both have to say, and it's such
guilty.
Like, Jonathan, we love you. We're not, we've talked, we've hung out, whatever. You're cool. It's not you. It's the game at whole. And Marianne had a wonderful point. She was like, Jeff.
Hold on. Hold on. Before you get to Marianne's point, why do Black people have to mince their emotions to appease the white man? Like, I'm talking about my emotions. I'm talking about my experience, my situation. But I have to stop and pause my emotions, put mine on the background to make sure you're okay. No, you're all right. You good. Why do we have to keep doing this?
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Because
they irritated me so much.
Double back because they know they're on camera. They know probably some of this, if not all, is going to get aired. So they're like, oh. And I think, I don't know, one of them mentioned it. They did say, they was like, now we got people out here, they're going to be thinking a certain way. But I need them to understand that this is not how it is, but this is how we feel. This is our experience. And so Marianne brought the point home when she mentioned, she was like, Jeff, we watched this game, and yes, 18 people come into this game, and it seems like a 1 in 18 chance, but however, we come in with our own burdens. We come in with our own privileges, and based on those things, some of us have a better shot than others. Are the chances for other people, some of these people out of that 1 in 18 is different than those of others because of said burdens and privileges. And I don't think it could have been explained any better way, because she's exactly right.
When I tell you, Marianne was so articulate and explained that and broke, sis, Marianne, if you're listening to this or watching this, you broke that down. You broke it down in a way it's like, okay, yep, I get it. I get it. Even if I wasn't Black, I would have understood once Marianne explained it that way. It was a different level of understanding once she explained that. And shout out to you, Marianne, for explaining that and being vulnerable at that moment, because that was very emotional. And it's something that hit you to your core, and you were able to stand strong and say something about it. Shout out to you.
And shout out to both of them. I think I was like, you know what, Marianne and Dre are queens, period. Because this tribal council, the way, like I said, last season, we had a very similar conversation, and it was a very powerful episode. Like, we won't ever take it away from the way Leanna, because we know Leanna came in swinging. She did her thing. But I really loved that this one felt more no holds barred. Like, it was just so raw. I said it earlier. And it just, because it was a mix, like, it's the game, because we want to stay in this game. So we got to play to stay in this game. But it's also like, I need y'all to know that we see what's going on, whether you know what's going on or not, we see it, and this is how we feel about it. And so I love the moment of solidarity. The game wise, like, but sometimes we have to sacrifice, and it's always, why do we have to sacrifice game stuff all for the sake of the cause or solidarity? Because they were like, so we don't know what we're gonna do, because we had a plan coming in here, and now we gotta find, are we gonna have to find something else? And here go Dre. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to find something else, because I'm playing my idol. So you are gonna have to find something else.
Oh, I loved it when she said that. She was not playing. And they were like, oh, we weren't gonna vote that way anyway. Da, da, da.
Yeah, she was.
She was like, so I wasn't the plan. I wasn't the plan going in.
Right.
So
she was big about, because she was like, okay, I need to save myself. Lydia was thinking about herself only, which, I understand, a survivor. But, oh, baby, oh, no, we will be. And Marianne's like, look, I will be using mine too.
Look, so she said, so it can't be said. So it won't be said that they only stayed because of race. So it won't be said, I'm playing.
And let it be known, say it point blank and period. That's on period. You know what I'm saying? But me and Kiki were talking about this during the episode. Like Drea and Marianne, you know, they weren't specifically working together in the game. So the fact that when it was time to get on code, they was like, "All right, sis." Like we don't, and I enjoyed that fact because just because we Black, we don't have to play. We don't have to, you know, work together. You know, we might even be going against each other. You know. But when it came time when you need to fall in line, baby, it was no hesitation. They was in on it. You playing your idol, you need to play yours too, sis. That's exactly what Drea was saying. Because she didn't say, Marianne, play your idol too. She just like, I'm about to play this because I know how y'all do. Marianne said, yep, me too.
Because I'm not about to contribute. Because if I don't play my idol, I'm going to be contributing to what has been done, perpetuated over and over and over again. So I'm playing mines too. And I saw Chanel give a little smile. I saw Rocksroy shaking his head.
Baby, I love that edit. That edit was on.
I love it so much.
Like them my girls, you know.
Loved it. Loved it so much.
I mean, yeah, like last season, you know, that moment was such a good moment, but something about the episode today, it wasn't expected. I didn't think this conversation was gonna happen.
Me either.
And it just felt so unedited. You know what I mean? Like raw.
It was because it was like last season we didn't have all that the extra, you know. We like nobody stood up and like, are you calling us racist? Like nobody, that didn't happen. So the fact that it happened and they showed it, I'm glad they showed it.
Listen,
but I'm also glad that they showed one. We had Lindsay letting the audience know that audience like no, what they're saying is right and what they have every right to feel this way. And then I'm glad that they expressed like, no, it's not about you specifically, sir. But this is how the game has been played. Right. And we also have to remember viewers and the audience that they haven't seen season 41. So they didn't know that there's been this many, you know, Black people together, you know, all at one time.
I forgot about that.
And that's crazy because it's just like without them seeing what happened on the season, it just goes to show you like it's a never ending cycle.
Come on.
It's like it's not like they were like, oh yeah, they did this last year, so they're probably doing it this year. No, they've been locked up. They don't know what's going on. This is new to them. New to the show. It ain't new to us. Shoot.
You can't tell me it's not a problem. Because if it was not a problem, how do we get almost identical conversations in 2 separate seasons and they have not seen each other? How does that happen?
Right.
Huh? We mind readers. They psychic
bias.
And it's game over for ignoring these type of conversations. I know people get frustrated and here we go. They done made it about race again. It's like, listen, this is what we experience day in and day out, and it is happening right before our eyes in this show. It really is. What do they say? It's art imitates life. Is that the phrase that they use?
Yes.
Yeah. And so I need people just let us express this and quit getting your feelings in the way. Like same thing, Therese, just got similar to what you were just saying, Therese. It's like, I'm having a moment and I'm emotional about this because this is a pattern that we're seeing year after year. This is season 42, 4-2 of Survivor. And the fact that we have to have this conversation after 42 episodes or 42 seasons. And it's still the same conversation over and over again.
And it sucks because when you go into Survivor, you're going to play a game. Everything that's in the game is for the game. But then when situations like tonight happen, you have to bring it back to the real world. And it's like, I came to the game to take a break from that. And I still got to live this life. And that's just the reality for Black people. It's like it's never ending. It doesn't matter if it's a game. Doesn't matter if it's a real life. It doesn't matter any kind of way. It's gonna be some type of bias.
And that's the thing, Trees, where whether it's we checking it at the door, we checking it at the boat. We don't get to do that. Everybody else get to check their problems and the issue and whatever thing else that's going on back home.
Right.
But our skin carries it with us.
Right. Like I cannot put my skin in my backpack and bring it out at the finale.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be Black. You know?
Exactly. And Drea said, I mean, she literally said, she was like, and I feel like I haven't been able to be my full self. I've had to watch the way I talk, watch the way I proceed. because of other people's. We are always conscious and worried about what other people are thinking of us, whether they think it or not, because we've had to deal with it as a people, in history, throughout historical, not just throughout the game, but in real life, in the world. We're always having to be cognizant of it. We're bringing it into this game, and so it's just not something that can be ignored, and it's just something that we're experiencing it, and we're going to bring it with us, and that's not something that we can just get over.
Believe me, we're not doing it by choice.
Hello. I wish I could talk crazy to y'all sometime. I bet she wish she would. It's a lot of stuff I know she want to say. Okay,
I'm biting them back. I know.
So it's like, we know, and we've talked about this on multiple episodes, that we can't always give our full selves if we want to make it far in the game.
Right.
And so, yeah.
As much as we don't want that to be the case. Oh my God. I would love to just, it's the same stuff. It parallels how we live, when we go to work. It's the same way when we go to everywhere we go. So, child.
Bro, like, it's ridiculous how much it is. Like I was even playing an online game a little while ago, and you can tell, oh, y'all grouping us all together, huh? Don't do that. Now I'm gonna come for you.
And then
go get together.
To openly say on Martin Luther King Day.
Listen, that's another story, y'all. It's like we weren't even working together. It's like we was on Big Brother. Like, we're not even working together. But if you're gonna group us together, then let's get together and we're gonna kick your ass. How about that?
Hello.
On site.
No, because and we just talked about this about BB Canteen. None of them was really working together. But when they brought that Cookout 2.0 and their racism and all that stuff jumped out, they like, well, we ain't got a choice, squad. Let's do what we can do. They just sucked their comps and couldn't do nothing about it. But it's like, they were forced to work together. And like Kiki mentioned a little bit earlier, Mary and Andrea were not working together. They were actually working against each other. And so now, I don't know if this will make them work together, but
I hope it does put them together.
I hope so.
I don't see neither one of them putting votes on each other.
I was just gonna say, even if they don't work in the game strategically, I hope they do that. Sis, I'm not voting for you. You're not voting for me. If we go, we go. But it ain't gonna be under my hands, you know?
Exactly. And it's kind of like, it's the little bit opposite when we think about Big Brother, because I feel like we mentioned, now I may not nominate you and put you at risk, but I will vote.
Listen.
So it's like, so technically it's not by my hand, because I'm not the one who nominated you.
That's
Whereas
true.
Survivor, you don't nominate people.
It's a different story.
Vote. So it's like, I'm not voting for you. We may not be working together, and I may not want you in this game, but you won't catch me throwing a vote on you.
Yeah. All right.
So I think it will bond them together. And again, like, even if they don't work together, they won't be voting against each other at all. And I think Marianne said it. She's like, I'm not voting her name down. I cannot write her. I refuse to write her name down.
She said morally. What she say? Morally,
and I'm glad she said it point blank, period, because it was understood that she wasn't. But for the people that don't get it, I'm glad she said it point blank, period. Like, I can't do it. Y'all can do whatever y'all want to, but not me.
And that's when Dre said, you're gonna have to, because I'm playing my idol. So
listen.
So you have to figure it out. So yeah. Such a powerful tribal council. I see why they jumped into the immunity challenge so early, because there was a lot.
They want to get that
out. So I'm glad they did, because it was another important conversation. And I hope listeners, and for the viewers that are watching the show at home, I hope to see back-to-back seasons, knowing that they're not filmed, that they're filmed separately and that they have no recollection or understanding what happened before, that this opens so many more people's eyes that probably weren't open or receptive to it last time.
Right.
And even though it wasn't as neatly packaged as last time, hopefully this something clicks for them, because it's like, again, they don't know what happened last season. So for the fact that these new players are having the same exact conversation almost at the exact same time, hopefully this clicks for them and it opens their eyes to what we're dealing with in reality and how reality follows us into this game.
Very well said. Very well said, Eric.
Let's get to the vote.
I was just about to say, Eric, there's a little bit more show we're missing. I appreciate
went
the
on
black
tribal?
content, but let's finish. Let's recap the episode.
So basically, they were like, honestly, it's really gonna be hard to go through the formality of all this going after vote after we just had this conversation. So Jeff is like, so what y'all want to do? Y'all gonna play in Jonathan's like, so are they gonna just play their idols right here? And they were like, "Yup," in unison, not even a 1, 2, 3. They both, Marianne and Drea, immediately both got up. Here go the idols, take them. He's like, these are indeed immunity idols. They are both safe. Can't vote them out. Jonathan is safe. He won immunity. So Tori, Lindsay, it's between y'all. And everybody else was like, basically, Tori, we voting you out. And she like, can I ask why? And Dre's like, you've been trying to come for me since Ika. She like, that's not true, but okay.
And it was all true. It's been true. Was true. Ain't it true? True.
Look,
It's
out the
true.
gate.
Or was true.
We just been waiting for you to be vulnerable, sis, so we can get you out.
Baby, you
We
would have
was
been
coming
gone
for
2
you.
tribals ago. 2.
Hello?
Yes.
Lucky
Your
made it
ticket
this
was
far.
pulled. Your name was called.
Your name was
Your
called.
number
At least
was
you
called.
look. At least you got a kebab on the way out, sis. Shoot.
And so she asked Lindsay. Lindsay was just basically like, I just don't have a close relationship with you like I do, with other people. So honestly, and I don't have any other choice. I'm voting you out. And Jonathan basically was like, yeah, you lied to me and I can't trust you. And she's like, that's true. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. So she's like, you know what? I'm just going to play my shot in the dark and it is what it is. And so she goes to play her shot in the dark. And Jeff is like, if she is safe, Lindsay, unfortunately, you will be the one leaving if her shot in the dark has safe on the scroll. It indeed said not safe. Tori, what? He was like, is this y'all official vote? It's for Tori. They was like, yes. Tori.
Child, they ain't even take him to the back. They said, y'all,
Right.
they're like, nah, you can go ahead. We putting it
I
out
had
there.
got low-key confused. I had to ask Treese, like, what just happened? Why didn't they go
I like,
to
nah,
booth?
they voted.
Because they felt it was just
Said,
too
we ain't
much.
wasting our paper.
Not they running low on Fiji with the
We in a
the paper.
pandemic.
So they voted out Tori and she was evicted or voted off by the tribe, and she makes up the 3rd member of our jury. But I will point out, Marianne, her answer to Tori, I think is going to come in handy when it comes to jury management, because she was like, Tori, it's not that I want to vote you out, but I legit have no choice. Taku is the people I've been working with, and I love you as a person, and I don't want to do this, but this is my only option. So she gave her a full detail, heart to heart, almost held her hand.
At least it wasn't personal.
Yes. And so I think Tori was going to file that away.
Hopefully.
When it comes to voting at the end, if Marianne does make it to the end. So yes, Tori was gone, and that's the end of the episode, you guys. But
Marianne is great at tugging and using that emotional, like she did last episode.
Yes.
She knows how to use that emotional welfare.
Mm-hmm.
Mary,
she gonna use that to the end. I guarantee you.
And when I tell you, okay, so when Drea started the whole conversation, in the back of my mind, I was like, Mary, cry. Come on, like
Mary, don't you weep.
Look, weep, baby.
Mary gonna weep.
Yeah, Mary gonna weep.
Baby, if don't nobody on that cast know how to use their emotions to get them ahead of that game, it's Miss Mary. Child, she uses it well too.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Look, I just want to point out, before we close this episode, I want to point out that the prediction on the last episode, what did I tell y'all was going to happen? I said immunity idols are going to be in play come next episode.
You did.
I said this is building us up for some immunity idols to be played.
You sure right.
And
now
here
we
are.
2 of them gone.
2 of them are gone, which means there's a likelihood they could be rehidden. Sometimes they do go back into the game, and so we shall see if they wind up.
I didn't know that.
Sometimes. Oh, no. Actually, no. If somebody got I take that back. I'm thinking that somebody got evicted with an idol. Tori didn't have anything.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, no, they were used. Okay. The idols were used.
Okay, because I thought it was on the
Yeah, if they were unused, they'll go back into the game.
Okay.
In my mind, I'm thinking that they were able to get rid of Tori with like an advantage or something in her hand.
No, she didn't have
so it's only one idol left out there, right? Just Mike's?
Mike.
Does Lindsay have an idol?
No, she has the amulet.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Okay.
So now what Drea needs to do is
take Mike's
set up. Yep, so she can take a Mike's idol so that she can use that come. And does she have to use it at tribal?
Huh? She don't have to use it at that tribal.
No. I think she just has to.
What, the knowledge is power?
Oh, you
Yeah.
know what? Yeah, because
With Xander and Liana.
Liana asked Xander at the tribal.
Yes,
So
Okay.
she
I
has to
think
use
so.
that, but she wouldn't have to use the idol then. She could just
Oh,
take it.
okay.
and use it
Yeah,
for
she would just
another.
have to use
Okay. So
Okay,
we need to
okay.
create, I need there to be, so since we're here, since we're at the end of the episode, let's
Mhm.
talk scenarios or just quickly talk about a quick prediction. So mine right now, I think there needs to be a setup. I think Drea needs to set him up to be vulnerable. And make him think that he's going home. She has to do this, and
Who?
so just so he can have that idol at tribal council, so that she
Mhm.
can take it and likely play it that same day, especially if she's on their agenda, on their radar to be going home next. So
Right.
that's my setup. That's my theory slash prediction. What about y'all?
I just want to see that knowledge power get played right. That's all.
Me too.
But in terms of my predictions, well, I'm just looking based off the previews. It looks like High is in danger.
Yep. That's who I was
and
gonna say. How Romeo, I think, is it next week.
I think Romeo gonna be able to slide by y'all,
You think so?
especially with all this heat on High. And I think, like he said, his plan didn't work. He caused him to get put in the center, and he stayed in the center pretty much the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think Romeo gonna slither on through somehow.
Look, Omar gonna
Um,
get the cooking on High. Watch.
So
And he
look,
gonna be the
guys.
one to cook.
So, okay, listeners, viewers, close your ears real quick. I have a question for them about spoilers real fast.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, real quick.
Spoiler alert, spoiler
So,
alert.
on the spoilers, did they
suggest
say
you-
anything about, were they accurate about Rox and Tori going out this week?
Yes.
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 Ooh,
In that right order.
really?
I think the spoilers are right, and I want them to be wrong so bad. All we need is
Oh
one
my
wrong.
God. And then
One
that's
thing.
it. That's it. Your credibility is out the window.
It's out the window, and it's like,
Yep.
like I
It's
said,
still pretty
based
accurate so far.
off our spoilers, I know what's coming,
Really?
and it's gonna hurt my heart.
I purposely have not memorized these spoilers. I know what the spoiler said, who's going to win or whatever, but I purposely do not have them in my mind of the order because I want clean predictions moving forward. So hopefully,
My mind, I don't have no photographic memory or anything.
I don't
but
have them
definitely got the order.
memorized.
I
do know who.
Eric, you might
know
have
the
a
exact
photographic
order.
memory.
I do.
No, he don't. He ain't got no photographic memory.
I don't have a photographic memory, but I know
His
the
memory
order.
terrible.
Oh yeah, you got a terrible memory. I forgot.
I got a terrible memory. But
Yeah.
What was we talking about again? Big brother. No.
Though, look, the girls that
Roll
get it.
right.
Let's
And
just say
those
that.
who don't.
Don't. Exactly. Any final takes before we close out this episode of Who All Gonna Be Their podcast, the Go Plate?
We playing Survivor, y'all.
We playing Survivor, y'all.
Or they playing Survivor because we ain't playing nothing.
Well, guys, this is the end of our episode, and this is the first episode where you get to see us talk and interact with us, moving forward. So we're excited about this new platform. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter on Who There. You can also follow us on Instagram at Who There Podcast. And you can follow us also, and some of you are probably watching this on YouTube, on our Who There YouTube channel. Who All That Gonna Be Their podcast YouTube channel. And so we thank you for tuning in. We want you to give us some likes, some views, some comments,
Follow
reviews,
us. Follow
5
us.
stars.
Talk to us.
Yes, and so you can actually see our ats are here. Eric did not do his at, but it is. Is that your at, Eric?
Eric
Where do I
missed the
put it at?
meeting when you first logged in,
Hold
bro.
on. Let's give Eric. What's your at, Eric?
Eric, what's your
My
handle?
at on Twitter, it is ear 2021. You got that? And then on IG, it is rock _ and _Rollerson, ROLLERSON.
All right. And so for those who are looking at the broadcast, watching us right now, you see our Twitter handles in the bottom left-hand corner of our videos. Again, we thank you so much for being a part of this very entertaining group chat, and we hope you come back and see us next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.